What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Hello and welcome. My name is Mitchell Saltzman, and this is Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, or at the very least, it's a bunch of B-roll that we can't show you without having some commentary over it, hence me talking over it. But yeah, for those that don't know, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade is a re-release of Final Fantasy VII Remake featuring a new DLC chapter with this lady right here, who, you know what, I'll just let her introduce herself.
My name is Yuffie, Materia Hunter and Elite Special Forces operative for the new Wutai government. I have orders to infiltrate Shinra headquarters and steal their ultimate materia, to prove to our common enemy that Wutai is not to be trifled with. Members of Avalanche! With your full support, we got this!
Alright, let's talk about Yuffie's combat here, which it goes so fast, I feel like I need to slow it down. But I think what's interesting to note here is that everything in this first part, it's all regular attacks. You'll note that there's no ATB going down here, so all this crazy stuff that's happening, this is just square and triangle. What it seems like is that when she throws her shuriken at an opponent, it kind of sticks with them, and that changes her own regular attacks to kind of ranged ninjutsu, which we'll see later on as we go. So you can see Yuffie's got a couple new tricks that Cloud and the other cast of characters don't really have. She can use her shuriken to hit faraway items, or hit faraway boxes and gain items rather. And it's also, I think, important to note that even though there's another character that we'll see later, Sonon, this DLC is entirely Yuffie based. So you're controlling Yuffie the whole time.
You look about ready to die of boredom. Want to play Fort Condor?
Oh, hell yeah, I want to play Fort Condor. So, for those that don't know, Fort Condor, in the original Final Fantasy VII, Fort Condor was basically a mini-game where it was kind of like a tactical defense game where you would place units on a hill and you try to prevent the opposing forces from reaching the top, and if they did reach the top, you had to actually fight them in an actual battle. But this kind of turns it into more of a game, which is really, really cool. So you can see it looks like you can select those troops right there and pick a spot to place them, and it kind of runs off of a rock paper scissors kind of dynamic where certain units that you place are strong against other units. Oh, and it looks like what's happening here is, rather than it being a defense, it looks like you're the offense here. So you're the units that are pushing forward on Fort Condor. Interesting. Oh man, the Happy Turtle jingle, my favorite.
Rules are simple. All you have to do is collect 6 of our fabulous flyers from around Sector 7, and you'll earn yourself a prize sure to delight even the dourest Diamondback. By collecting just a handful of flyers, you could be the first, and at this rate, the only winner of the most testudinarious contest in Midgar's history. This here's a sample of one of our...
I love Yuffie. Look how excited she is.
Bundle 6. Leave no shell unturned, no pond unplumbed.
That prize is as good as mine.
And of course, it wouldn't be Final Fantasy VII Remake. Hey, is that Wedge? Look, it's Wedge! Wedge is just hanging out in the background over there. Of course it wouldn't be Final Fantasy VII Remake if you're not, you know, hunting down cats.
I'm coming for you, Flyer. Nope, got the wrong cat.
Alright, and we're back to the combat. Okay, so now we're gonna get into some of her actual abilities here. These are the abilities that use her ATB meter, and oh my god, this song. Can we just listen to this for a sec? Is this Devil May Cry? Ooh, that was cool. Alright, so one thing I want to draw your attention to is in the top left, you can see R2 issues commands to ally. In regular Final Fantasy VII Remake, the R2 button would be used to switch to a different ally because you can control different characters in battle. As I said before, in this DLC, you are only controlling Yuffie, but you can issue commands to Sonon, and we've seen it a couple times, but you can see that you can have them become synergized, and they're going to do it right here. Boom, look at that. You got a synergized move that uses both of them at the same time. I don't know exactly, I can't tell exactly what causes that synergy to activate, but it seems like it's going to be a major part of the combat in terms of being able to use it to help stagger opponents and deal more damage to them.
Got grit, I'll give you that. Piece of shit, he's toying with us.
Some kind of factory or something? It reminds me of a place I passed through when I first got here. And if it's anything like that, it'll be crawling with monsters. I sent him to a beating!
Effective remove.
Don't pull any punches!
This is it!
How do you like this? Had to go and wake the beast! I sent him to a beating! I can't take this anymore.
One other thing to mention, we kind of talked a little bit about the fact that you don't actually control Sonon. You'll see it in just a little bit here, but there we go. We go into tactical mode, Sonon uses one of his abilities, so that's kind of the extent, it seems, of what you can do with Sonon in terms of controlling his actions. Obviously, there's the synergy attacks like that, where you can kind of have both of them come together once you're synergized. And there's a whole, it looks like there's a whole separate set of abilities they can do by holding L2. You can bring up the synergy commands. So yeah. And now we're gonna go on a cool conveyor belt ride. Unfortunately, the audio of this B-roll seems to be a little out of sync. But you can see some of the fun things you can do with Yuffie's shuriken while you're just kind of riding along this conveyor belt. Try and get some extra items. And now, what I wanted to focus on here is ninjutsu. So, I don't think she's going to use it just yet. Well, actually, she looks like she kind of already has it. One of the things that you can notice is right next to Yuffie's name in the bottom right is an icon. And I believe that is the ninjutsu that you use. So basically, you can cast a ninjutsu to make all of your attacks and your ranged attacks that you use when you have the shuriken out. It looks like they align with the element of your ninjutsu that you have activated. So in that fight, we had Ice Ninjutsu, and right here, she's going to activate the Lightning Ninjutsu. You'll see that icon in the bottom right is going to change to a Lightning Bolt, and it looks like every basic attack that she uses will now be imbued with lightning, which sounds awesome because, well, you know, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy VII Remake, typically you want to use lightning whenever you come across against a mechanical kind of enemy. Generally a good idea. There's missiles. So there you see the split. She has the shuriken out. She's using range attacks. When she calls it back, she switches to melee attacks. And then let's finish it off. All right, and ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our look at... Oh my god, no it's not. Never mind. It's Rama, right? That's Rama. Oh man, that's awesome. New summons. Alright guys, well that is our look at Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Thanks for watching. For everything else, keep it here on IGN.
Ninjas do it.